Hey guys, welcome to the FitTown show. I'm Coach Andrew, and today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about figuring out what you really want out of your health and fitness. And I think it's one of the hardest things to do, but one of the most important things that you can do is to take the time to figure out what you really want. And that thing that you really want could change and evolve over time, but typically it's going to be something that's a little bit deeper that doesn't change all the time. It doesn't change constantly. It might evolve throughout months and years, but typically it's going to be something that's a little bit more consistent. And the reason I want to bring this up is because through the coronavirus shutdown and working with a lot of clients one-on-one, a lot of people have trouble really nailing down what it is they're really even trying to achieve. And when I have conversations with people about their goals, a lot of times the things that I hear feel very much like that person is trying to tell me what they think I would want to hear. It doesn't feel always like a goal that's true to them and what they want. Sometimes it's very surface level, or sometimes it's something that does not really seem to connect with the things that I know about that person prior to this conversation. And the other thing I want people to understand is that the idea of what you want is completely individualized to you. And a lot of us are pressured by outside forces, the people that we work with, our families, our parents. A lot of our values, a lot of the things that we want in life have been influenced by the people around us. And the things that we think we want in our lives are often just an average of the things that the people around us want for themselves or want for us. There's a saying that we're the product of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with most, and I find that's very true with goals and things that people are trying to achieve with their health and fitness and goals they want to achieve inside the gym, is that it tends to be that average of the 5 people that they surround themselves with most. And where I see the disconnect on this a lot is a lot of people are trying to hold themselves up against some kind of perfect standard, or what I would consider a perfect standard for them. They're trying to project into what I would want for them as a coach, and then they're trying to meet that expectation or fulfill that expectation. And instead of saying, well, what do I really enjoy? What are the things that light me up? What is it that I'm really struggling with right now? What are the blocks that I have? What are the things that affect me 24/7? What are the things that keep me up at night? What are the things that I think about all through the day? And how can I break through and solve those things? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some really more simple examples, and then some examples that are a little bit more deep and meaningful examples. So the simple example that I see often is one with alcohol. Okay, so a lot of people, when we have a goals conversation and they're already drinking alcohol on a regular basis, they make the assumption that as the coach, I'm going to tell them stop drinking alcohol. And often that is not my first recommendation. Often what I'm trying to evaluate when talking to you as a client is, what role does alcohol play in your life? Do you have a healthy relationship with alcohol? Do you use it to mask certain things in your life? Or is it something that ultimately is more positive than it is negative? Okay, so a lot of clients that I talk to will have 1 to 2 glasses of wine or another alcoholic beverage several times a week. Some people do it every single night. And when I hear something like that, and that person's very rarely over drinking, they're very rarely drinking to get drunk, I usually have no issues with that person having 1 to 2 glasses of wine every single night if that's something that gives them a lot of pleasure, right? If it's part of their evening routine, if it's something that allows them to kind of wind down at the end of the day, if it's something that they get to share with a spouse or a partner, if it's something that they just really enjoy the taste of it, right? They enjoy trying new bottles of wine, and they enjoy going to wineries when they're on vacation and then bringing those bottles of wine back home to share with their partners. Like, to me, those are almost all positive things that could be related to this routine of drinking alcohol every night. And that is likely not going to be the first thing that I'm going to attack in terms of helping this person make positive changes with their health and fitness. And potentially that's something that we'll never attack. Potentially that is something that actually has more positive health benefits than it does negative, right? When we think about health, it's so easy to have a very black and white viewpoint on things. Alcohol is good, alcohol is bad. Sweets are good, sweets are bad, right? You need to eat a ton of vegetables and this much protein and all these things. But I found that that's not really how things work in practice. And so much of what goes into our health and fitness is the underlying beliefs that fit those actions, right? So if we're stressed all the time in order to eat the right things and eat them in the right quantities, even though we might be able to lose a little weight or start to make progress towards our goals, ultimately that's going to be more of a detriment to be stressed all the time than to be doing the right things, quote, right things with our eating and nutrition and our workouts. Okay, so something like alcohol is a really good example where for some people it's a really negative thing, right? Some people have a history of alcoholism, and I would definitely not encourage that type of person to start incorporate that into their lives. But with other people, they have a very healthy relationship and they are able to get more value from that thing than they are creating issues in return, okay? So another way to attack this as well that I've seen play out is you'll have some people that will say, okay, I really don't ever have to drink more than 1 to 2 glasses of wine in a night. I really am good with my 1 to 2. Usually I pour myself a second glass and I don't even finish the second glass. And then you have other people that are like, well, if I'm going to drink, I want to have at least 3, 4, 5 drinks. Like, to me, 1 or 2 is not any fun. It's not enjoyable. I'd rather just have 0 than to have 1 or 2 drinks. So if I'm going to drink, I'm going to have 3, 4, 5, 6 drinks in a night and really kind of let loose in that sense. And again, that could be okay as well. Now, one thing to consider with that type of situation is if you really want to move forward to your goals, then you probably don't want to do something like that more than once a week, right? If you're having 4, 5, 6 drinks in a night, once you start doing that more than once in a week, that's where you're going to start to see some of those health things not moving in the direction that you want. Okay, so that's where a coach can come in and give you an idea of, okay, what of these decisions that I'm making, these habits that I have, can still fit as part of a healthy lifestyle, and what things should I actually work to improve as part of that healthy lifestyle. So as a general rule of thumb, if you are one of those people that have those 1 to 2 glasses of wine a night and you're doing a lot of things outside of that, right? It's not affecting sleep. It's not affecting your stress, right? You still have other coping strategies outside of wine. You're drinking enough water. You're staying hydrated. You're not drinking the 1 or 2 glasses of wine and then binging on a bunch of junk food because now your inhibitions are lower. Right now, you can see where this starts to become an unhealthy habit, and it's not just singled out to the wine itself. But look at the whole context of something, and that's where a coach can again come in to help you look at the context of something. But again, this whole conversation goes back to, what do you really want? Because there's plenty of people that have lived long and healthy lives. They live to be 90, 100 years old, that indulge in a glass of wine every night, that indulge in dark chocolate every single night. So our goal for you guys as coaches is not to cut this stuff out completely. And you need to evaluate that for yourself, because for each person, it's going to be different. For someone, they might look at the relationship with these items and say, yeah, my goal would be to get rid of these things. I don't really see the amount of value that these things add to my life being worth the potential harms they could be having on my health. And then for other people, they say, you know what, even if this were to potentially make me live 5 or 10 years less, it's still worth the enjoyment for me to have these things in my life, okay? And this has to come with, some kind of discretion as well. We can't just throw caution to the wind and have whatever we want and say, well, life's short, I'm just going to indulge in every single thing because of that. Because there's a flip side to that as well, which if you're always kind of seeking these pleasures, you're not going to have the energy and the fulfillment you want. You're going to be chasing these short, quick fixes, very much like a drug, rather than more of these deeper positive emotions that you can experience from things. So, it's not about saying we're going to throw caution to the wind. It's about having some discretion with these choices, but it's about being able to have the self-awareness to look within and say, what things have sort of the greatest return on investment for me? What things give me the most enjoyment for sort of the least amount of potential health side effects? And then are there things that are almost all positive? Are there things that I really enjoy that do provide a lot of health benefits to me? And how can I get even more of those things in my life? And that's really the ideal scenario, where it's not just saying, okay, anything that gives me pleasure is bad for me, but where can I find things that give me pleasure that are actually good for me and make more time for those things, okay? So another deep example that I see, a little bit deeper example than kind of the surface level 1 to 2 drinks a night, is the weight loss side of things. And so often when people come in here, they say, I want to lose a number. They want to lose 15 pounds. They want to lose 20 pounds. They want to lose 100 pounds. Whatever that number is, it's often tied to something beyond just the number. And when we're having no sweat intro conversations or sales conversations, one of the things that a lot of people will teach is to ask why 5 or 6 times. Okay, so you want to lose 20 pounds? Great. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Because I want to be able to put on a bathing suit in the summer. I want to be able to fit into this specific bathing suit. Okay, great. Why do you want to fit into that bathing suit? Because back when I was 25 years old, I could fit into that bathing suit and I felt really great about it. I loved the fit of that bathing suit. I felt confident in my body. And okay, great. Why do you want to get back to that point? Because I don't feel confident in my body today, because I can't walk past a mirror without, looking into it and feeling bad about myself. And I don't go more than a few minutes without thinking about that negative body image that I have and hating my body, right? And generally when you get deeper with people, if you ask those questions, you're gonna find something that's a lot deeper than just the surface level 10, 15, 20, 100 pounds, right? And that's what I want to encourage you guys to do. That's not like a sales tactic. That is an actual way for you guys to get to the deeper underlying issue of what you're trying to achieve. Because if you get to that, you can maybe find different paths to get to your ultimate goal, okay? So like, if you think your goal is to lose 20 pounds, you could lose 20 pounds and still not be happy and still not be fulfilled. But if you know your goal is to be more confident in your body, to be able to walk past the mirror and be proud of what you see, to be able to put on an outfit and not feel bloated and to not feel like you have love handles and things like that. If that's your goal, the path to get there might not actually include losing 20 pounds. You might be able to lose 10 or 12 pounds and be at that goal, right? You might be able to lose 0 pounds and be at that goal, because it's a shift in your mindset more so than it is a shift in the actual weight on the scale. And ultimately what I find with a lot of clients is what they're chasing is a feeling. What they're chasing is a feeling of confidence. It's a feeling of freedom with their food choices. It's a feeling of presence that they want to feel with their families or with themselves. It's a feeling of gratitude for the things that their bodies can do versus the things it can't do. Most of us are chasing a feeling. And if you can start to connect with the feeling you're trying to actually create as part of that goal you want to achieve, then like I said, you might not actually have to lose the 20 pounds to get to that thing. You might be able to find a different, healthier path to get that thing. And when you actually do achieve it, you have the feeling there, you have the fulfillment there. You don't have all these secondary goals that you're trying to achieve while you're missing the bullseye, which is ultimately to chase that ultimate feeling for yourself. So I want to encourage you guys to take the time to find your why. Take the time to figure out what it is you really want and what actions in your life that you're already doing and that you aspire to do are going to have the greatest return on investment for achieving that, okay? And if you have any questions, if you want to define this further, don't ever hesitate to reach out to myself or one of our coaches. You can email me at andrew@crossfitpalmbeach.com, and I'd love to hop on a call with you to discuss. But hopefully you guys found this helpful, and we'll talk to you soon.